All right, hello, hello, hello. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Obviously, if you could hear the pre-noise, you know I'm wrestling Kipster again. he's helping and he's the tablet's on the floor, but he's interested in the microphone now. He's like, "Wait, what do I do with this?" Like, yes, buddy, that's what you're talking. Go ahead, go get your play. Go get sister's play. All right. So, uh what we had mentioned yesterday, the non-farm change coming in above 200 came to full fruition. Not only did it come in at 200, it actually broke 235, and there was an adjustment up last time, which is actually pretty big news. That's again pretty powerful. And then, funny enough, we have George. High inflation requires Fed action. Really, really, you're kidding me, really? And then Bostic, this is new. Understanding the interplay, kindred spirits, fighting the economic headwinds. All right, whatever. Just, I think Bostic gets less and less afterwards. Yeah, so that was one of the big things. The other is yen. Obviously, the yen is moving. I don't know if you guys were able to see this one. Japan has finally gotten the rate above zero or negative. Actually, I guess it's just not negative. I think they were at where is it 0.5? Yeah, 0.5%. Right. The new coupon rates that are being issued are going to 0.5. It's the highest it's been in I think 8 years, 6 years, something like that. I think it's 8. They just did the biggest purchase they've done in 6 years. So again, some support over there and some changes, but that was the last country to go completely positive again on all their bond rates. So that's again that's a pretty big update out there. Yeah, obviously because of that, and again, unemployment claims not as bad as again. Remember, we're supposed to go into a recession, right? Everything the Fed's doing, it's so bad. Unemployment claims are lower, employment change much higher. We saw jolts going up, so really all signs kind of say right now the economy and at least the labor market in general, not bad, guys, not bad, right? Nothing is the world is not ending, right? We don't need to build the ark. And again, with inflation being so high, and again, to quote George, the Fed, it requires Fed action. Yes, it requires Fed action. So maybe yesterday Kashkari was really telling us that, hey, listen, we got a couple rounds coming in. Look for it. It's there. Embrace it. We'll see. But because we do have some big movement, particularly in the dollar yen, up to 82. It's a big move, but again, you're seeing the dollar yen. I'm sorry, the pound yen. That is up 151, which is a decent day. It's about a little bit more than normal. It's below its daily ATR just because again there was just such craziness for such a long period of time. It's still artificially inflated to the top side, but that's big data. We'll see where it runs today. But even like the pound dollar is seeing 139 to the downside. That's what it should do, right? The data today is big. I mentioned that yesterday that this was going to be a big one, seeing this employment change. Not that this is the real, when people talk about non-farm, but ADP runs a lot of payrolls in the United States, so it is quite a large and powerful source. Yeah, I just, again, I think it's great data to have. It's not really surprising, right? Not necessarily surprising. So yeah, kind of where we're at with it. Now, the rest of today, I'm sure we'll see a lot of headlines. I expect that we're going to see a lot more comments. Again, the Fed needs to take action. The economy is being resilient. The labor market. And again, this is all coming at the same time that, Salesforce. I mentioned it yesterday. And it's funny, Melissa messaged me a little while ago. She's like, hey, Salesforce is letting go 10% of the staff and closing, some locations. It's like, yeah, that came out yesterday. But I guess she had seen it, and I guess for her office, that's big news that that they are doing that. So again, there's individual companies, and at the same time, there is there's the data that the Fed is using, and they are different, and it's important to acknowledge both those. So again, big data today, and again, strong dollar movement. Again, that's exactly what we saw. Now tomorrow, we get a little bit more international news. Okay. With the international news tomorrow, the international news tomorrow, we start off with, the CPI numbers. Now, again, There's supposed to be an adjustment above 10 for the euro, and that's already kind of factored in. And then again, 9.6, whether they claim that inflation has peaked or it's working or it's not working. This is going to be their kind of like first real test of kind of where they're at, right? What do I expect from this one? I mean, either way, the core CPI at 5.1, even if that comes in as expected, they don't have the same mandates that the US system does. Their mandate is 2%, and that's it. 5.1 is still a lot higher than 2.1. So, they have to acknowledge that. Again, they were slow to the game, which, again, everything with the Ukraine, it makes sense why they were. I understand it. I can't say that I don't support it. I mean, there's a lot of questions what was going to happen in the beginning. What was it going to do to Germany? What was the exposure to it all? So, again, I don't think it was bad that they waited, but I think they probably should have started a little bit more, a little faster than what they did, after the post-COVID kind of slowdown with everything. But then at 10:30, that's where we start jumping in and we get the unemployment rate. Now, the Fed, remember, has said that they feel that they need to get the unemployment rate to 4.6. Still being at 3.7 means they got a lot of room to go. Whether that's good, bad, indifferent, they got a lot of room to go because it doesn't just jump, 0.9 instantaneously. It takes a little while to ramp up there. So, there could be some time still coming, right? We will get the non-farm employment change numbers because, again, it is Friday. Average earnings. This is interesting. We don't see CPI moving as much, and now we're starting to see the average hourly earnings start to tick down a little bit as well. But we also get Canadian data, which I think is good. And Canada is actually up to 5.2. So theirs is actually raising a little bit. So, I think that's, we're getting some interesting readings, interesting signs. Overall, though, again, the economy in the U.S., and again, it's typically it's been the spender. Everybody, and I don't think there's anybody out there that's saying, yeah, you know what? Maybe we won't have a recession. Big name after big name just keeps calling for it. It's like, yeah, it's coming. It's here. It's all the ingredients are there. We're just waiting for it to happen. And we're on the way according to all the numbers. So the big question is, do you believe those guys? Not believe those guys? And at the same time, you have the Fed saying we have to bring unemployment up to 4.6, which is not really a positive thing for the economy. So we got that, and then again we have ISM services, and services has been kind of a I don't want to say hot button, but it's been services kind of was originally with COVID would shut down. When you weren't using a lot of services, that was changing things. So again, a lot of data tomorrow in the next 24 hours, but a lot of it I think is going to be came in from earlier today. That number was just too big to not acknowledge it, to not say that was a big number is kind of crazy. So, yeah, that's what we got. All right, so let's go over into the charts here. I was looking at this one. It's like, man, look at the movement there. That's the one I was watching for news. Now, to start off, the dollar. Now, the dollar is not blasting through the top. I'm sorry, that's the Dow Jones. The VIX, we had a little bit of a run up. I wouldn't say it was anything major. And again, because it was all pre-market, it's kind of ticking to the downside based off what we saw yesterday. The VIX right now, I don't think the VIX really knows what to think about it. All signs are great, right? People are getting hired. Like, these are all positive things. Any other time, right? If we weren't in this raising interest rate environment, the market would just be all over this. They would love it. I mean, the reality of it is it's great news, right? It's all great news. The problem that we have right now is that in the environment where we're raising interest rates, this is every reason why to keep raising interest rates, which makes it more restrictive for companies, which again, kind of goes back to some of the problems that we, will potentially have. So, it's kind of like the good is bad and the bad is good. I mean, that's kind of what we've been seeing lately. And it's really the reality of it. Now, the dollar, obviously, again, dollar took a big spike and, it should. This was big news. I mean, hiring that many people, seeing jolts, there's more job openings and seeing more people getting hired, and there's still more job, the jolts number is still that high. That's big, right? That's big. There's just no way to downplay that. So again, this movement in the dollar, obviously justified, but going from 104.25 up to 105, basically, it just broke through 105. That's a big move. And you're going to see that in all the, obviously, the currency pairs. Indices, all in the red, pretty deep. 100% justified. I mean, there is no reason for the Fed to kind of take their foot off the brake. There's no reason for it to pause. It's not affecting anything right now. Um, you know, jobs are again, job openings are increasing, hirings are there. I mean, people are letting people off, but we saw that it wasn't out of what the norm is. So, yeah, there's that. Um, it's high, but again, indices, as you would expect, all in the red. And I think going in today, I think that was really the plays. You had to look at this saying that it's probably going to be a red day. Commodities, you know, check out that natural gas number. We're down to 7.77% down to 384. We finally broke through. It was a battle, but they finally got through that 4 mark. And oil up just a little bit, right? Just a bit outside, up just 0.3. So not tons there, but look at gold and silver. Told you guys yesterday, rally yesterday. We're looking to get short for today before news, and look at that movement. Down 1.74 and down, 0.93. So, again, the movement we mentioned yesterday, it all came in. We talked about getting short for the news, expecting it was going to be good, and it wasn't just good, it was really good. Can't really candy coat that one. It was really good. So, again, hopefully you got both those shorts. Now, currencies obviously are going to be a little skewed right now. We'll start off with the Aussie dollar. We talked about profit points yesterday, right? If you were, and we talked about it being very, very high. We were looking for movement in the overnight. And you can see we tagged the first one late last night at midnight, right? Came up. And what did the Europeans do? I'll remove this. Again, profit target 1, profit target 2, both were hit. We're at 61. Here's what the Europeans did. Here's the European Open. Right up. And there's news. So we talk about the European market. Kind of knowing the data, right? Kind of knowing the data. Yeah. Look at that. Pretty nice movement, right? And again, this is a big move. I mean, there's not much to say about it. 77 pips in an hour, right? Hour and a half, something like that. Big move and 100% justified. And if you weren't looking at that one, again, you had to know that, listen, we found a bounce here. It rallied, and we had the basing sitting right there. And that's what we ran into. So, again, not much we can say about it now. The trade is out. Had you gotten short from yesterday where we talked about a Harry Potter trade. Very, very sloppy Harry Potter. If you had played the break, again, very, very sloppy in there. But it went down. It kind of teased the 23.6, came all the way back down, grabbed their first profit target, bounced twice, and then boom, punched through. And we mentioned the 61.8. And again, I would expect a little bit of probably retracement in here. But the problem right now is gold is also getting slaughtered. So, unfortunately, the Aussie's not getting any help. Makes it a very difficult, situation for the Aussie. Anyway, again, it should do what it's doing. If you are short, again, look to take some profit. I would say right now, since we broke through the 61.8, again, we got a little while before reversal. We're probably good until probably down in here, the 78 people and that last pullback. And again, 100% justified on this one. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can say now with it because the trade is done. The trade is out. It was news. And, again, you're not selling at the, an hour after a big move in price to the downside. It's just not the smartest thing in the world to do. So not much we can do. I would say right now, again, after yesterday, we have the confirmed top. I would say we definitely have the bottom. We're kind of sitting right at that 50% mark. But after news, not much we can do with it. Also, yen. Now, also yen was also high yesterday. We did see a pullback, and we kind of rallied up. We also mentioned, again, potentially being short this one. But again, the dollar was a better play versus the proxy on this one. You can see it pushed down, but not to the same necessarily extent. Why? Because it's weak. We mentioned yesterday that, Aussie being a proxy for gold, if the data is just really bad, right? If the data is going to be bad for gold, it would technically also be bad for the yen. Just like we typically don't like to play strong currency, weak is also the same. At least strong, a lot of times there is one that's more powerful. Weak gets a little bit more challenging because it's like, okay, what's the worst? What's the best of the worst, right? Or maybe it's the worst of the worst, but not many people want to get into bad. So, trying to play bad versus bad doesn't work as well. You always want to do good versus bad, right? That's how movies are made, right? That's what you want to do. Bad, not necessarily what we were looking for. And again, and you're seeing it. You're not getting as much movement here as you could have, or we could have seen versus the Aussie dollar, which was bad versus good, right? Lot more movement over there. All right. So right now, again, we do have a top up here. We were talking about that before. Quite a large candle, so we weren't really trying to draw it for risk. As you can see, it did go a little bit higher, so I would be cautious about using it a third time. Again, zones eventually get eaten up and pushed through. At this point, this one is probably getting up there to where, hey, listen, if it pushes up at 91 again, it's got the power to go higher. But it's going to take some Aussie strength, some Aussie data, or something coming out of gold. And the reality is, I don't think there's anything coming out of gold anytime soon that's going to be, something that we're willing just to take that, right? As well as the yen. The yen is going to be, unfortunately, at the will of the U.S. for a while. So again, I would say my opinion on this one is we're still in the top 33%. I'm still kind of, I would say bullish. I'm sorry, not bullish. Bearish biased on this one. Not much else we can do with it right now, unfortunately. I just don't feel that. Well, I got the bias. I just don't have a good level that I'm comfortable saying, hey, listen, if it comes to here, we're shorting. If it does this, we're doing this. It's just been there too many times, like I said, I like the fresh, the clean levels. Had you taken that last short, you're probably okay. But at this point, I think the time is over for this one. Now, euro dollar, pretty definable. And we talked about this one. We mentioned yesterday. We said, hey, listen, we got some boxing in here. We got some boxing in here. And you can see up, back, up, down, right back up to the same level again, right back down to the level here. And again, I can extend, I'll put new ones on, but we had this is our top and this is our bottom. And all it was doing was preparing for news. And it was the same thing. We talked about potentially getting short. This wouldn't really have a great news entry. And the answer is no, not really. I would love to tell you, you absolutely should have been short the euro. This one would have been just more of a belief. There wasn't really a definable level. We knew it was at the 50. We knew we had chopping back and forth. The European market sent it from here up. But then it really had like that 530 reversal. It started to push down because everybody kind of knew the writing on the wall. What are you doing? You're going to fall. Yeah, you're going to fall. Now with the pushing all back down, I would say, again, if you're still short this one, you may want to look at profit. There are buyers here, buyers over here. There is a zone right down here. So we're getting pretty close. Could this be a bouncing point? Yeah, it could, right? It could be a spot. But the reality is, the data was so good. Every Fed person is going to talk and make some type of comment and get their opinion in there. That's just what they do, right? They all got to get an opinion in it because if they don't make a statement, they're not relevant, right? So they all got to make. I mean, again, Bostic statements kind of all over the place, but talking about the whims of the economic cycle, it's like, all right, you were the one saying before we need to be conservative with this. I think we're there, and now we're like what 8 months, 10 months, a year into it almost, and it's still not controlled. And what they said that their metric was is still not working. So. Yeah, you can make those comments, but I feel like this one has a lot of risk. So do we want to take a reversal? Be cautious with it. Make sure you're tracking this one with good fundamental or good technicals on this one. I would say though, again, if you have not taken your profit, where are we at? Definitely get yourself out at 105.29 or 105.30. Make it a little bit easier. Don't play with this level. It absolutely could be a reversal level. Don't try to take this one all the way back down again. But if we can maintain and stabilize and really start eating this zone up, we do have a Harry Potter trade that we're looking for as a break below 104.86. I don't think it's a today trade, but I would be looking at it for tomorrow. If we can push down into that level before non-farm, that could be a potential short for tomorrow for another big short. And again, we want to kind of see how that one plays out. I think the movement, it's there, right? I would say the potential's there. But we need the market to shake out. We need profit taking to come in today. Because again, a lot of people won't look at the ADP one and say that, that's not real. I mean, it's real. It's just, it's not the non-farm payroll, right? So yeah, you guys get what I'm saying on this one. But again, right now, we talked about down. You can see we're much farther down for the day. But again, pretty hard to mess with that one right now. Again, do you want to get short after a large movement price? No, not really. So we really needed to chop in and slow here and then start to push down tomorrow morning. Euro pound. All right, so Euro pound pushed back up again. We've had this level up here, and again, this is an old level. We mentioned it being very, very high, but not really. Again, so much chop through. We're trying to get new levels formed. We're back up high again. I would say where we are with this one. We have had some headlines. Nothing that is really, when you look what headlines we have, we don't have a lot, right? As far as that goes. Greenspan, by the way, is saying U.S. recession is likely as well. we don't have a ton out of the euro, right? Tomorrow morning with this CPI data, I feel like this will give us the ability to kind of play this. Now, looking at this one pre-market, right? Right now, if we had news in the next couple hours, I would say, hey, it's absolutely a short. I'd really like to see if we hold firm up top. Here's why. Okay. We've already heard some comments made out of the EU talking about how, they feel that they're almost at neutral, that, maybe they can only see maybe one more raise, maybe two, but they feel that they're already at neutral and they thought that they were going to peak in December. Well, this is our first reading, right? Tomorrow's CPI, and again, it is on a yearly basis. If they break this down and they say, yes, it is confirmed, we believe that we have now officially peaked, right? That should be a very weak sign for the euro. If we get any type of weak-based data, right? Any type of weak-based data, that should send euro pound right to the downside. We are poised very, very high. We do have choppy zones up there. So I think that this one has a potential going into news tomorrow to be able to start looking for shorts. I do like it. I like where it's at. The fundamentals are meeting the technicals at this point. As far as having a definable level of risk now, it's not a European Open news release. It is a 5 a.m. So it's more of that reversal time frame. Super early morning for East Coast. You Texas folk, it's even harder for you guys because you're an hour back. But the way that we're set up, I'm looking at this one to be able to take short tomorrow. And again, a lot of it's going to depend. Will I be up? I don't know. Maybe not. It's kind of hard, right? Some days Kipster cooperates. Some day Kipster does not cooperate. Yeah, nah. I'm talking about you, huh? Yeah. He knows I'm talking about him. Nah. So again, my belief right now on this one is we look for tomorrow morning. We got to kind of see what it looks like in the overnight. Look to see if we can get a decent zone. Right now, this is too choppy. It's been up here a lot of times, but we're looking for this to push back down. Euro yen, also like where we are now. Euro yen, we had that 23.6 yesterday, and we mentioned this being kind of at the right time. It was 10:30. Now, actually, here's where the release was at 2 o'clock. We were looking for a little bit of help, and it did push back down again. It ended up driving right through. It didn't slow down, so we didn't get it for news. But what I would say is this is an old level. There will be people that have some revenge. You can see that it did kind of Harry Potter off of it too. It broke the zone, base came back, then used the zone and took off the top side. I would say that this is very similar too. Now, I like where it is. I like the fact that it ran through there. I have the same thinking for tomorrow, right? Wow, buds. With this one kind of pushing through and being where it is, kind of look at this one saying, is there going to be a decent short setup for tomorrow morning? I like how it's pushed up. I'm okay with where it's at. It's not quite at his own, but again, we got 20 hours to go before that news release comes in. And again, I do kind of feel that I feel like the EU is really trying to be like, hey, listen, we've already kind of tamed this. We said it was peaking in December, and it peaked. We got this under control, right? I feel like that's a real weak sign for the euro because that means they're not going to do the same cycle that everybody else did. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But right now, again, we don't have anything. If we can get up to the 50, this 142 level, that would be great. But we're going to need some help both in the European and the U.S. session. Okay. Pound dollar. No surprise. Again, we were talking about this one dropping as well. And you can see Europeans sent it straight up right around 8 o'clock. This is a big mover as well. 130 pips so far. So again, just kind of completely blew through. None of the retracements really mattered on this one because where we were poised at the top. We talked about pulling right back into that channel, and we started to form a new base, and we said, hey, listen, we got something here, but obviously that's not going to hold something like news. So right now, again, I'll just slide this down. It's easier. We are in an area now where, hey, listen, we've had buyers step in here in the past. We did kind of push it pretty deep in there. It was tested, but went a fair amount in there. If we're going to start to see a reversal, this is the right area for the pound. Now, do we just take this one immediately saying, hey, listen, just take it now? No, I'd like to see kind of a bounce off this one. I'd like to see a confirmation. It could continue to go lower, and that's why it's important to get a little confirmation entry. So we'd like you to see it start retracing back up again. And then when it does, when it pulls back down, and if it doesn't, if it just goes straight back up, obviously you didn't get into a trade, no harm, no foul. But what we're looking for is a little bit of a pop and then a pullback. And I don't want the pullback to go any lower. That's where we pull the trigger and we take this one long. Again, it is not set up right now. We do need a confirmation, but that's what the confirmation looks like. It's about, 10 pips? Yeah, it's 10 for 30. It's right there. You can see it's a parabolic move. If you do take this one long, make sure you are out probably in that area right there. Probably sitting right there. I can tell that's not straight already. Right about there, right? So that's what we're looking at. Again, profit target for the 1-3 is around 119.75. You know, it is already starting to slow down. Again, this is the 10:30. Profit taking is in. People are getting out of the positions as they should, right? You got to capture profit. You're not going to hold this one forever. So that's where we are. Again, look for a parabolic retracement on this one. Again, I think and again, not a parabolic retracement because the news isn't fundamental. I think it definitely is, but I think it reloads itself for tomorrow for another short. Is kind of my belief in this one. I think we're going. I think tomorrow should be just a retrace. I think it should be kind of the same setup for what we got today. All right. Let's see. You can see this is this base dead zone. There. Did that get out? No, I'm good. Here, let's see. We're gonna pull this still. I'll leave that one there. So we're at 3. So we should break a little bit, but there's a little backstopping right here. A little bit of backstopping right here. This bounce may actually come in down here. Let me see here. About 20. So this is hit number 3. This could potentially bounce. If this one doesn't hold and start bouncing here to retrace this, if this comes back down again, you just move this down. Right? You just move it to the downside. Yeah, it's all right. Neither one of them really matter. 90. Housing draw. Hoping there was something better for the euro in there, or for the pound in there. Looks like we're not going to get it. So, yeah, it absolutely, again, this is the third hit of this level. So, again, it's not going to be as strong. I think this level down here, again, if this doesn't base and start the retracement process here, I think you take this down to this level here and then look for the same, kind of the same pop, right? I'll mark that one off number wise. It's 118.78. 118.78 on that one. All right. All right. Let's go across and look at pound yen. So you look at the pound yen and you say, this one doesn't have a lot of movement in there. What's going on now? Well, right now, unfortunately, this one we've seen pound weakness. Right, we saw it inside of the euro. The euro pound is rising. So again, the weakness that we're seeing here is the same exact. It's kind of the weak right now. It's not as weak as the Aussie, but it's still weak. Now we are holding firm. We talked about this 159 being a level. You can see it did kind of pause below it. It pulled back again and then punched higher for the 61.8. The 61.8 yesterday I mentioned, hey, listen, the 61.8's there, but it's so close to 160. 160 would be the entry. There's your 160 entry. And actually, in fact, if you guys wanted to mark it off, you could say, hey, listen, there was the box around it. And that's exactly what it ran into this morning. So, it's in there. I wouldn't say that it's trending. There's no real major movement in this one right now. I feel like where it's at, it does look to me more like it's going to be a short. And again, using this old level, you can see, look how much basing. Based here, and then base. Right below it, again, we violated this zone. Actually, there would be our base. Here would be your short. Buds, We don't climb on that. Something along those lines. Yeah, I know what you're doing. Eh? 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 Something along those lines. Break of 185.77 down to 157.80. Again, nice little base, nice little parabolic move here. It's got plenty of room to run, about 130 pips. So, yeah, not horrible. Here, we'll take this off just to make it easier to see. All right. I think there's anything else on the yen. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, that's probably all. Trying to think. Yeah, that's it. Bye bye. What are you doing? Debbie, you'll appreciate this. So, this is a kid thing. You'll appreciate this. So, I remember yesterday I explained that Kit basically spent like 99% of his life in onesies. We just keep putting in onesie pajamas, and it doesn't really go anywhere. So he's in onesies all the time, right? Again, that's life. Should be everybody's aspiration when they get older. Just wear a onesie everywhere, right? The ultimate attire. But he's in his big boy pajamas right now. So he's got a shirt and pants. He's found his belly button, and he's like infatuated with his belly button now. he's like, look at this. He just keeps pointing it. He like wants me to like acknowledge that he's the belly button. So I mean, who knew, right? Belly buttons only exist when you have two-piece pajamas, right? So he keeps looking at me. He's like, ah. And I was like, yes, buddy, you have a belly button. So anyway, nice little Harry Potter there, retracing back down to 157.80. Dollar CAD. So dollar CAD. Again, we talked yesterday about a break of this 134.83. We never got the entry, right? We pierced through, we came back up. We never got the drop, the base, and the pullback. We literally just kept poking through. So I like this Harry Potter level. We do need to make adjustments to it, though. So right now, we know we don't have any buyers stepping in the 134.12. Okay. We do have a new level of basing, but I'm going to move this one and change it to there. Okay. Because that's where our most recent base was, and we kind of popped off of it. So slight adjustment in this one. And again, this is where we're looking. That's why we wait for the drop, the base, and then the pullback. This literally just rode the bottom side of it. We never got the pullback, right? We were looking for something more like this, where it pulled back through and went to the top side, but we're looking for the downside. So keep that trade on your radar. Right now, again, if we do get back up, we talked about a break here the other day. It never is pulled back. It just literally sliced through that kind of level. I think if we can get up to there, I think we can get another little trade out of that one because we haven't really tested the old becomes new piece of that one. Particularly, again, this one's hard because I don't think there's any reason today with oil being where it is and the dollar news. I don't think there's really any reason for this one to retrace minus some profit taking, right? I'd love for this one to reset back down again. Which is this one? Need to move 70. Oil's up a little bit. Hmm. I was hoping we'd have some turning there, but we didn't. I just don't think there's going to be enough. Yeah, I would say here's our two shorts. Oh, excuse me. Only this one only because we haven't gotten a chance to test it, and the old buyers that are banding will become sellers in that same level. So, no, we're not going to sit in the drawer. No. Yeah, no. Yeah, this kid. All I gotta say is prepaid ER visits are definitely need to be a thing. Yeah, I have one of those. I don't use it under the desk, but it was like one of those like IKEA under desk 3 drawer like rolling file cabinet things or whatever, We have it next to like an ottoman that I have like all Jen's toys on. Kip is sitting on the ottoman, and it's fine. It's only like half his height, so it's cool. He's opened the top drawer of the cabinet, and he's trying to get into the top drawer of the cabinet. So you just see this one going bad already. It's like, oh, Kipster. Um. Anyway, I do like both those levels on there. For shorts, this is one of those ones that I don't think there's many reasons why we would necessarily want to short it. They're both technical levels, and they're all right. I- I'd be looking for tomorrow morning. For me, this would be another long. I'm just wondering if we pull back. Unfortunately, I don't know if I'd use that level again. Yeah, I would like to get long this again tomorrow. I think we're going to have another strong dollar release tomorrow. And again, talk of recession should help bring oil back to the downside. I know OPEC's numbers, OPEC's production numbers in December did go higher. So again, there's additional supply coming online. And with the data today, yeah, it's great that they're, again, higher jobs, more hiring, all that kind of stuff. All that's great. But again, the Fed's going to raise it. The Fed is, they said they may have to send us into a recession to tame inflation. I feel like the data today is proof of that's what they're going to do. So, God, I'd love to get long this one. But again, I understand this one has a couple different factors in there that make it a little bit more complicated than, say, the euro dollar, pound dollar. I think those are going to be providing better opportunity. But right now, probably expect a little bit of a pullback. Oil is still positive right now. And again, the data means more people are driving. In the short term, that again is more of a demand issue, or not issue, but you know what I'm saying. It's more of a demand story saying, hey, listen, there's a lot more people, right? More people driving, or more people will be driving. That means more demand on the oil supply. But again, OPEC is kind of matching that one currently right now. So we'll see. But I think either of those two levels, I'm very curious about this one, the 136.05. Dollar Swiss did exactly what it did. Again, we talked yesterday about a profit target all the way down here at 51. That was yesterday, right? Yeah, it was yesterday morning. Yeah. So again, that's where we drew the bottom off of. You can see. I mean, if we drew the base, it makes sense why we're there. This one it was primed. We said if we were hoping to get all the way up. Again, European session started here. It literally shot it down into that zone. So again, very easy news based trade. Nothing we can do with it now. Wait, you want to come up here? What happened? Here. Let's do. Here we go. Here we go. Oh look, Peppa in the snow. My kids are all over Peppa. I don't know if you guys have any like kids, grandkids, whatever it may be. My kids are addicted to Peppa the Pig. Peppa's on. Doesn't matter what else is on. They love Peppa. Anyway, where we are right now, 78. I don't like 78s a lot. There is zones up here. Obviously, it's very easy to see. There's a zone right here that is tested. It is at the 78. That is what we bounced off of. We are hitting that 10:15, 10:30 window. You would expect profit taking to come in. This is a very big move. Being from down here, that's 105 pips. The daily ATR is only 88. So again, it should turn and reverse a little bit. Inherently, it's not weak. It's not it's not going down because of the weak dollar. It's just profit taking from such a large move, and this was a very easy news setup. It literally drove it down into news right beforehand. Strong dollar play, as we talked about, and again, it was a very strong dollar-based news today. So, not much. I would say that this one, again, I expect it to reload itself, but question is how far is it going to reload? I don't know if it's going to be enough to make this one worth any type of short in there. I think at this point, you wait for this one to go down lower. Buds, what you doing back there? There you go. Kid loves to explore. All right, come here. You're fine. Come here. Oh, yeah. Let everybody hear your man flu voice. Yeah, here. Talk to your friends. Here, talk to your friends. No, that's coffee. You can't have that. Here, here. Play with the box. Um, so yeah, I think I would say dollar Swiss could be another one tomorrow. I mentioned euro dollar being great to trade tomorrow for non-farm. Dollar Swiss, depending on how far we pull back today, could be a decent one to play long too, just because we're not really seeing much news that is bringing Swiss strength in. Um, and again, you can see when this one moves, it does have the ability to move. I mean, 88 would have been a nice run today for anybody, right? Nobody's going to shy away from 88 pips. And it was a pretty easy kind of setup to the downside. So, um, again, this is the problem about doing a webinar right after news. We've just had a huge move in price, buddy. Bud, you're right in the thing. No, no. Yeah. Where's your drink? Go get your drink. Hold on one second. Let me put it on the ground. Go find it. Here. All right. Dollar yen. So this is the one I had on there earlier. Now, dollar yen yesterday, we talked about a couple different levels. We mentioned this, not really respecting. We talked about how 130 is going to be a big deal no matter what, and it was, right? 130, was the bouncing point yesterday. We talked about that 61.8 level being pretty decent, right? Now, price is above it right now, but had you taken it yesterday, right? Here's where our level was. We were sitting right here yesterday. Look at that. If I bring this across, never broke that 61.8 level. Oops, not that. Right there. Make sure we put it right at the bottom so there is no cheating. And bring this down. And bring this over. And bring this to 1 to 3, which is right there. That's 1 to 3.1. So there you go. There's your setup. We talked about, again, 60 pips. It's 20. It's set right now for 21.66, but you can see it's at 3.1, so it's well beyond. You can see it went all the way down. It actually came all the way down to there. It came to a 1 to 4, but we're only targeting for 1 to 3s. So yeah, and again, hit it, pull back down, and hit it again. You're like, yep, there you go. There's your 3. There's your base. It primed itself again. Europeans sent it from 3 straight down. Again, they primed it. Are we worried about the zone? Nope. 1, 2, 3. This would be hit number 4. And you can see 4 didn't even slow it down. It just exploded to the top side. So what do we do with this one now? Dollar yen, I would say, again, it is back high on the curve. Again, it's justified to be high on the curve. We saw yen weakness pretty much across the board right now. And obviously the dollar strength is massive. And obviously the yen being a proxy, nothing about this really is beneficial right now. Now, we are high on the curve, okay? So again, we are kind of thinking, and looking for bearish trade setups. Unfortunately, right now with what we got, it's kind of hard to be like, yep, I'm taking this one bearish, right? If we reload, I think it's probably better to look to go long this one tomorrow, but it's got to reload. And again, by reload, I mean it's got to pull back down again. We know we have sellers up top. Do we want to go long, run into these sellers? Not really, right? That's not the smart play. We need the same thing to happen. We need the Europeans to step into the market right here at 3:00, and we need them to send it down before news. Okay, that's what we need tomorrow. That gives us the ability to take it long. Right now, obviously, it's a little bit too soon to do that, but that's what I'm going to be waiting for tomorrow morning. All right, and again, this is the problem. When you guys know and understand how to trade news, your morning's over before your morning starts, right? If you're not sure what I mean by that, right now we've had such great movement in price. All your trades were easy setups. You're out of your setups, and now what do you do, right? You could technically play some reversals if you want, but after getting some of these moves, even if you got just one, like dollar Swiss, 88 pips, you're done, right? Do you need to take them? Nah, leave yourself out, right? There's no reason to take additional risk when so many of the moves were this easy this morning. All right. Oil. So oil is an area that we mentioned yesterday. All right. So oil, we mentioned getting a break of 72.85, right? We're kind of basing / breaking in it right now. So I like the base in here. We haven't gotten kind of the correct kind of confirmation entry on it. I'd like it to go down, give us a little bit of space, and then continue lower. We're looking for a target of 71.07. Now we have pushed through it. We did pull back up, and now we are basing in it. Right now, it's a spot where it's like, man, did we take it? It's there. I would say, I mean, the data was so good today, and again, I really feel like the Fed's going to talk more about, hey, listen, we're going to have to go into a recession, right? We're going to continue to raise. We're going to drive this one down, right? I like the short. I do. I really like the short. I'd like to get again. I'd like to get a decent. Excuse me. I'd like to get a pullback on it, where we can say, okay, listen, this is the definable level. We had the definable level before, but we haven't had like a true entry on there. Again, if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, again, the next time it breaks 72.85, you can take it. But I do think 71.07 is our target for oil right now. So we talked about that. So again, back in play. And again, the basing in this level, I love it. I think that's great. Natural gas. Okay. Natural gas, we did not get a Harry Potter entry. We peaked our head up and then immediately came back down again. So no base. But I love the fact that this hit this and it based again and then hit it again and based it, which means this is one of those ones that, hey, listen, we got to keep this on our radar. With a break of 419, we already know that there are some people in here, but those people have been touched. Those people have had to support that level, and those people could potentially be out soon, right? And then have to reverse the trade. So, yeah, I think that's decent. And again, continue to deteriorate. I love this. I hope this goes all the way down to like $2. I'm cool with that one. But if we do pop up, we got something there. We know we got some buyers down at $3.40. This level, we know it'd be in here before. We had talked about it. And again, 1, 2, and 3. This is hit number 4. So yeah, gold. Look at that. Kind of funny how this one works. So look, we had this news yesterday, right? The FOMC, they kind of pushed it back up, right? And then the Europeans kind of came into the market. Europeans came in here at 3, kind of pushed it up a little bit, and we kind of the hold and then started to move. We talked about getting the short this one, right? Unfortunately, this one, I don't want to say scripted because it's not scripted, right? It was, what's the word I'm looking for? Not scripted, predictable, right? Absolutely 100% predictable. It did exactly what we kind of talked about and expected it to do. It didn't really give us a great pullback. Here's the 8 o'clock pullback. So it went down, and we talked about yesterday. We marked 1829 as being the target. We're kind of there right now. We're at 1899, 1829.95. So we're within 5 cents and kind of floating back and forth. So it's at the target. We knew we had buyers stepping in. This level right here, and again, there's your zone with your test. That's where we're at right now. So again, it's kind of the same thinking. That 1030 reversal, profit taking, whatever you want to call it. We're at that stage right now. Question is, are we going to get enough movement to? Are we gonna enough movement to where this one makes a difference, right? Yeah, buds. Sorry, I was trying to see what he was doing. We need this one to retrace as well. And I think if we get a retracement, I think it's an easy short for tomorrow as well. Hopefully, this one doesn't get hijacked again, and Europeans try to get in early, but I think this is a decent play tomorrow. And again, it's doing exactly what it should. Silver's double what gold is right now. Silver, same thing. Yeah, look, here's the Europeans. Europeans shot all the way down very, very quickly. They pulled it back up and it started to move. So, yeah, unfortunately, again, gold and silver were the Europeans didn't mess around. It may not have been Europeans too. It may have been just the overall, it may have been the big players in the market saying, hey, listen, we're not going to play with this one. We're going to get a short ahead of time. So, yeah. It happens. Like I said, there was so many different setups for this one, but this one went a little bit early. But gold, fine. Gold, you were good. But this kind of pullback here, right? And I really want to see what happens here because we got this. Unfortunately, this is this is Friday, December 30th, so it's not the best of. The volume is not there, right? The volume is not there, so we'll see. Anyway, it looks like Apple's positive on the day. Tesla, down again, but it's kind of where the lows were yesterday morning. So indices, they're all going to be in the red. And again, today is another one of those days. Doesn't really necessarily qualify. You can see, yeah, your 915 candle was green and followed up by a red. But again, it's just the market reacting to what that employment data was. Again, too big of an employment, too big of a data point. Had you gotten in for the data point, again, we talked about this yesterday. There's a 3 o'clock window with Europeans. The Europeans drove it up, and the 8:30 window is right there. So the Europeans kind of telltaled what we were going to do. And I believe we said this yesterday. If you see the market rally in the European hours, they obviously have an idea what's going to happen. Again, go watch the recording. We mentioned it. And again, they did it and straight to the downside. So again, opening print, nope. News trade, yup. Easy news trade, yup. And I talked about, again, watch the primo on this one. It would be higher. But again, not much to say. Huge move in price to the downside. Obviously, the overall retail trader had to react to it, so it did not qualify for opening print. And the data was huge. But again, the technicals are already there. Drove right back up into a level. This would have been a little bit better. But again, with all the basing right here, it's the same thing we talk about with the 35 and 1 strategy, right? Look for the levels, right? Look for the pause. Look for the break. Or, look for the hold in price. That's a hold in price, right? With a big move. So, yeah, same thing. There's your 3 o'clock window. There's the up. There's your 8:30 piece, right? So you'd push right into a level and boom, straight to the downside. So again, now this is good. 1, 2, and this one broke on a third hit, having some issues with it right now, but not much you can say. But again, Europeans, telegraph this one. YM, Europeans also telegraphed it. This is the 330 candle. There's your level, and this one. Again, if you guys need levels drawn, there's your level right there, 730. Pulled down, based. This candle, what did it do? This is the news candle at 8:15. It pulled back, it touched it, and that's the funny thing. Look, there's your 8:15 candle. Here's your 8:30 candle, right? Drop, base, 8:15, came back up, grabbed it, and took off. So it's the same short. It's the same short, just on different charts, right? Russell, up. 3, peaked, 8:15, 8:30 right there. So again, one green, 8 o'clock, and this came up. Now this one didn't touch it, but kind of the same thing. You got to know before news that you're trying to get short. So yeah, same thing. So again, it's the second day in a row with there was big news right before the market opened. So not necessarily the best, but you would have traded with a news-based strategy versus an opening print strategy. And again, that's why you had different strategies, guys. It's just there's nothing to say about it. You can only trade what the rules tell you that is possible. And unfortunately, opening print wasn't possible the last 2 days, but the news trades were super easy. So, all right. So that's it for today. Again, crypto is obviously, in the red, as they should be. Doji up a little bit, but there's drama with that one. TLT, again, holding firm, not as bad as it could, but a lot of that movement. Look at the overnight, right? The overnight, just, off hours, straight down, right? And now we're just kind of holding firm. It's like, oh, again, it was all the overnight stuff there. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, anyway, these are days I love and I hate. I love them because they're easy to take advantage of the news trades. I hate them because trying to do any analysis after a gigantic move in price, it's kind of like you should just be done for the day at this point. Like, you're out. Go enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun. Yeah. So, again, we talked about it yesterday. Hopefully, again, look to see that European session. I think it's all going to happen again tomorrow. You can begin. And again, Friday, you guys know my belief. You should be done by 10:30 anyway. So, why should it be the red? Wait, what? Why should it be in the red? Why should what be in the red? Why should what be in the red, Neuro? Why should your name be in red? It's funny. Your name and Ernest's red are name are in the red for me. Crypto. Why should crypto? Because it's dollar strength. Right? Whenever you see dollar strength, you'll see currency, or you'll see crypto weakness. When the dollar is a more attractive currency, what do you get from holding crypto besides the ability to get scammed? Nothing, right? Again, you can hold dollars and get paid for it. You don't get paid anything for holding crypto, right? It's purely just a speculative investment. If you want to call it an investment, I don't know that I can. But I will say, if any of you are watching, we talked about it 2 days ago. We talked about the whole CoffeeZilla, Logan Paul drama. It got even more crazy yesterday because Logan decided to message back and be like, you're an idiot. I'll see you I'm going to see you in court. And I was like, and everybody's like, you're an idiot. You have taken zero liability. You're like, well, his source is a convict. It's like, but you hired the convict. It's awesome. I love it. It's like, I've watched, literally my afternoon yesterday was like, you know what? I'm going to watch this other random person. I have no idea who they are. Critique, Logan's video. Right. So yeah, It's unbelievable the stuff that this guy pulled. And he's like, I'm going to finish the project. Who are you to tell me it's never going to be done? It's like, because you haven't posted in the forum for a year. It's awesome. I love it. You guys love that. Get some popcorn, microwave it, make it by yourself. But if you're going to look at any of that stuff, go watch CoffeeZilla's 3-part series on Logan Paul's Crypto Zoo scam. And then watch yesterday the updates that all happened. It's absolutely hysterical. It is the best. If you guys love reality TV, it is the best real life reality TV ever. So great stuff. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. Kipster starting to melt down. I need to get out of here, get him some food. We got 6 in. Yesterday, it was an Eki victory. So we'll step in today. Oh, we're missing Mr. Will. Mr. Will is not in today. So I guess you can't win if you're not here, right? So it is what it is. All right. Again, you can't win if you don't play the game. Winner of today's drawing is... I did say his name, Neuro. I did say it. Like, maybe that was enough, right? Maybe that was enough. I mean, Ernest didn't win yesterday, but Ernest wasn't here yesterday, so kind of hard to win when you're not here. But I don't know. Maybe he rolled all his luck into today, right? But so far, right, we're 3 days in. No duplicate winners yet, right? No duplicate winners yet. So, all right, let's mark it complete. Let's give Ernest his 3 or his 3. See, where's he at? Let's give him his 25. Whoops, not 245. Could you imagine? Whoo, the emails I would get. All right. With that said, I got Kipster melting down. Yeah, Mr. Whiny Face over here. All right, I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. As I said, tomorrow is a big release. Non-farm is considered one of the top, probably 1 or 2 trade releases out there. It will be a big one. Look for the markets to reset themselves. I think we're going to have a repeat of what we saw today. Just prepare yourselves for it. Again, it's easy trades. The goal is to be out tomorrow by 10 o'clock. So with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good one, and I'll see you then.